What's going on, y'all? My name is Nick.
And this is James, and we're the Eugene brothers. How you doing, Nick?
Doing good, man. Doing good, man. We got a good one today. It's called Conservative Lesbian. Um, I'm done with women, back to men. So, in short, what happens when a lesbian says she's done dating women and is going back to men? In this video, we're going to break down a shocking confession from a conservative lesbian who claims that feminism and modern dating culture ruined her experience with women. So, so this is actually coming by way of, let me see her name. I think it's I lift for donuts. I live for donuts is what she calls herself, right?
Me too. Them donuts is good.
So let's just see what this girl has to say. Let's play it real quick. All right.
Think I like women anymore. I'm attracted to them. I don't think I like women anymore. I'm attracted to them. They're very attractive. I'm not attracted to men. I like women in the way that they look, but I'm not into women anymore. I dated men and married men my entire adult.
Yo, am I tripping? Nah, yeah, like
Yo, what you doing? Leave her alone, bro.
nah, I mean, it just seems like she's taking the role seriously. Like she really got the
What you?
look down pat. She trying to, all right,
She trying to look rough.
she say, hey, I mean, that's the lifestyle she's going for. I mean, but let's see why she's giving up on women, right? All right.
Life up until about 2021, so I was 26, 27 years old. From 2021 to 2023, I dated women. I discovered women, and I went, whew, women. Things were solid from 2021 to 23. I was in and out of relationships, had a lot of work to do on myself, but I had no problem finding a date, getting a woman to go on multiple dates with me, or finding a woman to be in a relationship with. Flash forward to 2023 to 2025, and there has been a major pivot. It was subtle at first, but it's not anymore. Feminism was raging. Everyone was a strong, independent woman, the I Choose the Bear movement, and girls decided that they didn't need a man, a me, or anyone else in their lives. So for the last 2 years, I've gone on maybe 2, 3 dates a year. I can swipe yes on 400 women on dating sites and only get one match. My appearance hasn't changed. My politics haven't changed. I was dating as a conservative way back as well. Women have changed.
Mm,
Mm,
women have changed.
man.
Before we go any further, what's your thoughts? What's your initial thoughts on this, James?
Yo, if the lesbians are complaining about women, women have gone. They've gone off the rail. They've gone off a cliff. You got lesbians complaining about women now? Yo, that's crazy. Yo, that means the boys was always right. The men was right. Not even lesbians. Other women can stand women. That's crazy.
Man,
What's
let
your
me,
what's your thoughts?
bro, it's actually kind of crazy because I think what this really goes to show is that men are not the problem. Men been screaming to the top at the top of the rooftops, for years, saying that feminism is an issue. I was just looking up real quick if I could probably share my screen, but I was looking up just some statistics real quick because I just wanted to make sure. But I was just looking up the lesbian divorce rate 2025. There are no definitive 2025 statistics for lesbian divorce rates, but data from past years show a higher divorce rate for lesbian couples compared to gay, male, and heterosexual couples. Let me zoom in. Do you guys hear that? Now, but I think it's, for those of you who are religious out there, I want you to understand we're not advocating for lesbianism. We're not advocating for homosexuality or anything of that sort. But this is going to show you that by and large, can both men and women have problems? Absolutely. But something about modern women in particular is killing relationships today. Because I'm gonna read it again, y'all, so you can see it. It says there are no definitive 2025 statistics for lesbian divorce rates, but data from past years show a higher divorce rate for lesbian couples compared to gay male. That means if men have men working with other men, even though I don't agree with that, but they don't end up in divorce as much as the lesbian couple. And heterosexual couples, which we do advocate for, they don't have a high divorce rate as lesbian couples. For example, one 2025 source citing studies from the early 2020s noted that lesbian couples divorce at a rate of roughly 34% compared to 19% for heterosexual couples. You see, women are not able to work even amongst themselves. This is what the statistic is proving. And I think it's actually kind of sad because it's just like, damn, women don't want to listen to the men, and apparently they don't even want to listen to each other. And this woman brought up something very. Let me put her back on the screen. The lesbian woman, right? I live for donuts. Is her name. She said something very interesting. She said that I look the same. Do you remember when she said that, James?
Yeah.
She looks the same. She probably is doing the same thing she was doing when she first, quote unquote, discovered she was liking women, right? So in other words, you men, understand this. You're not the issue. You probably look the same. Some of you are probably even better off if you did the male improvement that we keep talking about. But if you can't find someone, it's because the standards of modern women today is off the charts. It's unrealistic. So you're entering an arena that's already designed to fail because of all the feminism.
What's sad is just not even other women can meet women's expectations. So what do we stand? We don't even stand a chance as men. Think about it. If the lesbians are having difficult times with women, what stance do we? How do we fare? If you really think about it, because some lesbians, they claim they left men because men were the problem in terms of relationships. Now, don't get me wrong, men are not perfect, and sometimes men use their powers to abuse women.
Right.
However, that's not the case for every man. Majority of men just want relationships, and they just are decent human beings. But what happens is, if you claim you left a man to date women, and women are complaining, then you got to see what is the common denominator in this whole breakdown.
Yeah. So let's see more of this.
I can't get a woman to go on a date anymore. And men are having the same problems. See, women have decided that checking 90% of their boxes isn't enough. You need to check 100. Whereas men and women like me have decided if you check 80% of my boxes, that's a pretty good start. But women have decided that they are God's gift to man, that I have to earn their time, even though I am also a woman. Women have decided that they want to take it slow. And by take it slow, they mean text for weeks, go on dates as friends for weeks, have you spend money on them for weeks. And then when it comes to a relationship, well, no, I didn't want that. I don't need that. I have everything in my life that I need. You have to earn your place and show me why I should be in a relationship.
Fellas and women, this is why dating doesn't work. This is why dating doesn't work. This is why we don't advocate for dating. For those of you who claim to love the Jesus, the Lord Jesus, he never, nowhere in that book are you going to even see the word dating. It is not promoted. And it's for that reason. What's the reason? Here you are in giving significant investments. You're paying to go on these dates. You're paying to essentially have this person share time with you. And lo and behold, after all that financial investment, for them to be like, I didn't want to be in a relationship. Really?
Yep.
After all that time? I mean,
Especially
I would assume that's something you guys should have communicated since day one, right? Like, what do you want out of this? And if you guys are trying to get married, if that's the ultimate end goal, where does it say that you have to date somebody before you get married?
no, for sure. I mean, if you really think about it, it's just like all that money you spending goes down the drain for every failed relationship. If you think about it, every failed relationship, no matter how pleasant the experience was, if it fails, if it doesn't work out, your money goes down the drain. You see? It's a good thing lesbians are speaking out because they're doing is this vocalizing that the men were right. They see the light. They see the light. You know what? To all you lesbians out there, come back home. That's it. Just come back home. Come back to the men. The men will treat you a lot better, right? Instead of you paying, we pay, right? Instead of you providing, we provide, right? But you gotta pull your weight. You gotta pull your weight because you know what it was like in the other side when these women didn't appreciate you. So you gotta appreciate the men.
Ooh, okay.
Pull your weight though.
Pull your weight.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
So, hey, lesbians, come back home. Come back home. The prodigal daughters come back home too.
Yeah, come back home, but fix the appearance, man. Like, don't come home like this.
Hey.
Offense.
One step at a time. Let the prodigal daughters come back home.
Hey, you're right. Let's check this out.
With you, like I did in the string of dates we just had. I have everything in my life that I need. You have to earn your place and show me why I should be in a relationship with you. Like I did in the string of dates we just had. I thought, isn't that what we were doing? No, we were just hanging out. We now look down on people in relationships. Previously, when you were single, your friends who were coupled up were trying to pair you up as well. Now, if you're in a relationship, your single friends are saying, ugh, why would you do that? There was a point during this pivot where men really figured it out and said, hey, wait, I got to get my act together. And they did. Men are the ones who have actually come to the table now and said, hey, we've done some self-reflection and we're ready to settle down and have a relationship. The traditional man is coming back because the country is healing. The Christian man is making a comeback. But now women are the ones with attachment issues. Women are the ones who just can't be bothered to get out of bed to go on a date. So when we look at women like Fletcher and JoJo and their major flip, and how could they do this to us? They were lesbians and they're with men. It's because they got tired of dating all of you. Because a man stepped up to the plate and showed them comfort and safety and consistency in a way that women never did. So I don't think I like girls anymore.
Ooh. What the girls do? Clock it.
Man,
the girls like saying that. Clock it.
Oh, you talk about that? It's crazy, man. Like she was actually making a lot of good points. Like you can't knock her for what she's saying, and it's just like you're right, bro. Like come back home. I still think you need to fix your figure, but one step at a time. One step at a time.
She's wearing jeans one day, the next day she's gonna wear a skirt. One step at a time. Yeah. You see, the thing is, men make women feel good and feel safe. And then they're free to express their femininity because that's what men do. Men don't change. Men have always been consistent. You what you see is what you get. You see?
You can see from the comments, you have this one comment by Deb Bell, got 588 likes. But it's in hindsight, the women's liberation movement didn't really do very much good for women. Yo, that's a fact. This is GSD Mama, woman here, and I say women suck. Wow. So this is coming from a woman?
Whoa.
Women suck. They suck all around. They are mean and selfish. Can't even have a friendship with one. I feel y'all love, but I do have a single daughter. Wow.
Ooh.
That is crazy. This is this
She sound like she needs some vitamin D. If I was a if I was a doctor, I would prescribe her some vitamin D. She need that.
This is Michelle Collins. That is crazy. I've been married for almost 34 years. Good, hey, good job. And my husband, who I love deeply, still does not check all my boxes, and I do not check all of it. Oh my goodness! You see the wisdom? Do you see the wisdom in that comment? You married for 34 years and having the realization. Y'all probably see the cleaner lady body. I'm in the library.
Let her do her job.
Yeah, hey, I will let her do her job, man.
She's
But this
American
is to let y'all
citizen,
know
working for tax. I'm proud of your services.
Authentic over here, yeah. But you know what's crazy is think about it, right? She's married for 34 years and have come to a mature realization that my husband don't check all my boxes and I don't check all of his. That deserves a clap.
But who can? Nobody's supposed to check all the boxes. That's impossible. For that to happen, you would literally have to date yourself. You would literally have to be a replica of yourself.
But that if you're a woman, because apparently women don't like each other. You see, this is what it is. You see, you know, bro, what it says love your neighbor as yourself. If you can't love your fellow neighbor, that's because you don't love yourself. There's something internally wrong with you and your output on others. So that's the reason why you can't love others. Because deep down inside, you have all these traits. You're toxic, you're combative. You see, you have trust issues, you nag. So now if you find another person just like yourself, you're not gonna even stick around with that individual. That's the issue that we're dealing with today. We're dealing with a bunch of people, and this is why these lesbian relationships, they're not working out. They're not. If I could even read some more comments here, it says this is a very obvious one by Nanya B. It says feminism ruined a lot of it. That's it.
You see, even the women are complaining about feminism. You see, there's a lot of wisdom in walking away. And when men started doing that, you leave people to their own devices when you walk away and let them get hurt based on their own foolish actions. There's a lot of wisdom what men did. And, future generations will see that the men did the right thing. If it becomes too hostile of an environment, just walk away. That's all you got to do. And if they don't want to listen to you, leave them to their own devices and let them feel the hurt. This is what the Most High did. If you think about it, in the Bible, he was married to Israel, and Israel did not want to listen to him. So he said, you know what? I'm going to give you up. You do whatever you want. And then when Israel was suffering, when Israel was begging for God to come back, when the other nations was beating them, right? This is when they came back to the Lord and they repented. It's the same thing. These women, this whole idea that you don't need a man is going to backfire so fast. And I'm glad this lesbian sees it from our point of view. It validates that we were not crazy. We was never crazy to begin with. It's just women don't like order. Many women don't like order. I can't drag every woman under the bus, but a lot of women don't want order. They think being under the authority of a man is subjugation. They think love, oppression, marriage, motherhood is slavery, and that's asinine.
No, what you said is you cooking, bro. And this is the kind of thing where it's just like, bro, we did a video the other day about the men. When you talked about them walking away, men are tired of the simp culture, right? I think they call it the simp economy over there in China.
Economy in China,
yeah. They let all the women go. They're just like, you know what? If you want to operate like this in this quote unquote dating world, we're gonna opt out. We're not gonna keep simping. We're not gonna keep giving you money, right? We're not gonna help you pay your eyelashes and your nails and the fake hair, and we're not gonna do that stuff no more. So we out. And now we seeing the literal economy in China is collapsing. Not the businesses that have real value, by the way. It's all the temporal, shit, all the stuff that's vain, and it doesn't help with the actual survival and the infrastructure of the society. All the superficial businesses, they tanking. You see, this is what happened. You see, and this also goes to show you too that men is upholding the lifestyle that you desire. Why are you gonna bite the hand that feeds you? And if you really don't need a man, then all those businesses should be thriving. No, they're gonna tank because all these women are biting the hand that feeds them. They don't want men. They don't want to do nothing with them. Well, we could do it by ourselves. Okay, do it by yourself. Do it by yourself, and let's see how successful you are.
If you notice too, we also made a video where the men stopped paying for drinks for women, right?
Yeah.
And they started to take up the seats in by the bar. And why they're not getting kicked up is because it's the men who's always paid for drinks anyway. Another thing I want to say is that if you really look at the dynamics between men and women, right? The problem with feminism, if feminism was right to call out men because men have been abusing women, physically speaking, they have a right to speak out against that. I agree with that. But now here's the issue. Feminism painted a too big and too generalization of a brush. And they included even good men in there. Because they said men ain't good, men ain't shit, men ain't... if you hear them, they'll say men are the enemy. The problem is when you say that, what you're doing is you're excluding the good men that actually want to be with women. You see? What you're doing is you're throwing your brothers under the bus. You're throwing your sons under the bus. That's the problem. All the good men that could have been by your side, you've alienated them because they see the hatred that you have for them, and they're like, hold up, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm not the problem. I'm just trying to get a relationship, and you hate me for no reason? So this is why they're walking away. This is why they become passport bros. This is why they stop entertaining these women and they become MGTOW. It's because it's just like, how am I the problem when I'm just trying to live? I'm just trying to pay my bills. I just want a girl that likes me. You've alienated those good men. And now women are complaining they can't find any good men. That's the problem. You generalize the whole species of men.
Yeah. We can even, shalom to you, Johnny X Torpedo. Shalom, John. These women abort their children if it's wow.
That's a fact.
Cynthia G mentioned that. I could even look at some other videos, right?
The black sons out there.
Like we could even look at some other videos.
Divorce rates are so high.
That's why
lesbian divorce rates are so high because lesbians don't know how to date, at least not in a healthy manner. And I've said this over and over and over again. A lot of lesbians go into new relationships with old habits. So only because your ex cheated and they lied to you and they were narcissistic and maybe they were abusive, only because your ex was like that, that doesn't mean your new partner is like that. And that's what I mean. You bring what you had in your old relationship into your new relationship, and now you're tainting not only yourself, but this person and the bond you're all trying to create.
But and I'm not gonna play too much of that. But and shalom to you, my brother. Shalom to you, brother John. But you see, I'm not gonna play too much of that. But this is exactly what I was echoing earlier in the live, right? We have an issue with these women, right? They first of all, they made the first primitive mistake, which is that they didn't get saddled up with the right guy. 9 times out of 10, that's how they even become lesbians in the first place. They were in a relationship with this dude that they should have never been in a relationship with in the first place. They should have done things the right way, not dated, right? They should have spoke to your father or some type of male figure in your life so they could vet things. But let's get back on track. So they dated a trash-ass dude, right, that abused them. Now they give up on men. And now all of a sudden, I realized I was always attracted to women. Oh, yeah, that's so convenient. So now you go to these women, right, having these lesbian relationships, and guess what? You bring all the old bad habits that you had, right? Just like I was saying, you still toxic, you still combative, you have trust issues, you probably sneaking and going in that person's phone. You see, you didn't do the introspective work, you didn't do the self-evaluation. And this right here is not unique to lesbian. This is actually for women, period. As much as they always love to talk, come healed, right? But y'all the ones that need the healing by far the most. And men, I'm not gonna put you on the path, Snyder. You do need healing. But in this particular instance, right? In this particular video, we get it on these women. You need to understand that you have to do the introspective work. The answer is not going and finding another woman. That's not the problem. No. Just like my brother said, be the prodigal daughter, right? And come back home. But you got to do the work. Why did your past relationships not work? Is it because he was a man? No. It had nothing to do with a man. You see, I'm gonna beat this drum till the day I die. It says very clearly, the portion of a wicked woman is a wicked man. You attract who you are. The problem is not the man. The problem was you. You were the issue. You attracted that dirtbag. You were the one that put yourself in that environment to get used and abused. And I don't want to hear, oh, but he raped me. That is literally the percentages of women that actually get raped is actually very small compared to the women that made conscious decisions to be saddled up with a dude. So I don't want you to take outliers or the minority and try to paint the broad picture and act like every woman had been taken advantage of in that manner. No. And I actually think when you do that, that's very disrespectful for the woman that actually did get raped. No. You a lot of times take the accountability. Did you have to be out there that late? Nah, these are the uncomfortable conversations that people don't want to have. Right? Well, did you have to dress that way? You see, these are the uncomfortable conversations people don't want to have. Did that man speak to your father? Did that man get vetted by any male figure in your family? You see, and then when you can't answer these questions, you wonder why this dirtbag didn't mess with you. No, you made poor decisions.
Independence. Every day is Independence Day.
This is crazy, bro.
To all the lesbians out there, put the strap down. Go get the real thing. All right? I know you're tired. And you don't even feel that anything anyway. Come on, let's be serious. You don't feel nothing with the strap. So get the real thing.
This guy.
Get the real John McCoy, right? Live out your life with a man, have beautiful babies, and that's it. What more do you want from life? What more? Right? Get yourself a sensible, respectable man.
You ever look up this guy? I forgot his name.
That's why lesbian relationships don't.
Did I get it?
Jordan Peterson.
That's why lesbian relationships don't last. Well, it is why.
Gonna get clipped.
It is why. It is why, because
That's
why lesbian relationships don't last.
Well, it is why. Gonna get clipped.
It is why. It is why, because about 70-75% of divorces are initiated by women. And the simplest explanation for that is that on average, the most unhappy person in the relationship is going to be the woman. Well, why? Well, because on average, she has higher levels of negative emotion. That doesn't necessarily mean that negative emotion doesn't reflect problems in the relationship.
Yeah.
But she's going to be more sensitive to that. Well, so if you put two women together, well, what do you think happens? That's
Absolutely
why lesbian
not.
relationships don't.
What do you think?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because he's trying to say if women initiate divorces more than men, then it would make sense that if women date other women, that divorce rate gets astronomically higher, because it's not necessarily the relationship dynamic itself. They was always unhappy with themselves. You see?
And if they both, could you imagine if they both want the soft life? Who's the one that's going to sacrifice to actually?
Who's going to provide that? Yeah, who's going to provide that?
Because they both, the end goal, I don't care how much they try to look rugged. I don't care if they chip the tooth off like that first girl. I mean, eventually, majority of women, they want the soft life. That's their end goal. They don't want to be grinding it out. Oh, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So now who's going to actually be the one to say, you know what, I'm going to keep grinding so that you can have the soft life.
Yeah.
I'm going to grind it out so that when you're pregnant, you can sit home. Who's going to make the sacrifice?
Right. Yeah. But this is the thing. Remember, there's no biological differences between men and women, right? There's gender roles is all made up. You know, gender roles is that's crazy. This you can't lie. Nature is gonna catch up to you. The truth is always going to win at the end of the day. We can try to hide it, we can try to cover it up, we can try to dismantle it, but the truth is indestructible. You know, it's always gonna show. It's always gonna show up back again. This is why, men, we don't get pregnant. We don't get, we don't have periods because we were designed to work. We was designed to manipulate our environment, right? So that way we create a comfortable life for women to exist so they can have this soft life. This is why.
Quick question. I never asked you this question, but I just what's your thoughts on working as a whole? Like, what is it? How did it even come to existence? I'm wondering if you actually think the same way as I do.
Work is just like grind.
No, the conception of work.
The conception of work is because of man needs food. He works with the land. Okay. That's how it is. I mean, if you go in the Bible, God designed man to work. If you're not Christian, if you don't subscribe to the Bible, man naturally worked because of he manipulated his environments. If you want to be really scientific about it, how the patriarchy started, it's because in the beginning we had an egalitarian system. The reason why patriarchy started is because when other groups of nations invaded and tried to steal the labor of your land, men had to militarize themselves in order to create patriarchy, in order to combat the warring opponent. And this is how patriarchy came to an existence. It's to militarize the men in defense of foreign invasion so that way they don't steal your women, your crops, and your cows.
So the only reason why I asked the question, because you kind of hit on it, like you talked about if you're spiritual, right? And I wanted to touch on that because I'm actually going to go back to this woman, I lift donuts, because she brought up like the Christian man is coming back, right? The spiritual man is coming back. And I think that's what it is, right? Like that's what we were missing. We were missing a spiritual led man. And, they try to go into their carnality and they were pretty much doing everything for the carnal, right? Like I just want some ass, right? And now that you're seeing men not simping for something temporal and they want something eternal, right? Now you start to see she's calling it a Christian man, but I think that spiritual-minded man, that man that doesn't put the woman first, they probably put in their spirituality first, they're returning. And the reason why I asked you the question was because, I always viewed it as a curse, period, point blank. Like it only exists. You're going to sweat from your brow. That was as a result of them falling. They didn't obey God. That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, why would women want that for themselves? That was the only question I really had.
That's a good question. If you put it into perspective like that, if man was cursed to work, why do women want to inherit the curse too? Your curse was different. Yeah, now you added a double curse on yourself.
Your curse was you're gonna bear children in pain and sorrow. Why the hell are you trying to add work into you? Like look, bro, don't get me wrong.
That's a perfect logical example that you brought up.
I do believe there are people who have a genuine passion for what they do. But I think even in the most perfect job, I think every man has those moments where you wake up and you just like, this again, I gotta do this. I woke up, and the only thing that compels me, even when I love what I do, but the only thing that's compelling me to keep going is like I look to the side, I see my wife, I see my child, and I'm just like, that's why. That's why I gotta provide for my family. But it's not like let's go and start doing backflips. I gotta go. No, it's like it's a curve. And y'all trying to do this stuff. These women, like, I don't know how you want the soft life, right? You want the nails to be done and all this stuff, but you want
every woman can get the soft life, though. Every woman could get that version.
No, I agree.
And you know what you brought up? You know, you're absolutely right. When you wake up in the morning, you don't even feel like going to work. And what's even worse is if it's wintertime. What's even worse is when you know it's cold outside, you feel so slow and lethargic to get up. It's like you got to take a shower. Everything feels painful. Everything feels so slow because you know you got to deal with the cold.
It's like you ever see the scene like you're in the shower and you just like your head is down.
Right, exactly.
Bro.
Exactly. And if you live in the city, it's even worse because now you got to deal with stank attitudes all the time in the train. You got to deal with rush hour. You don't even get a seat. Right?
Bro, I have some comments. Josh said exactly what I thought too. The word says man must work the earth now after what happened in the garden. Exactly. And then you have unknown grails. The Sims are living out their dream by having all their OF subscriptions. They can ask for allowing real men to stand out more again. Oh, that's a good point. The Sims are inside ordering takeout and edging. This guy. This guy, the goon life, right? Yo, it's crazy because it's like
there's some edge lords out there.
You made a good point, unknown grails, because the real men actually are gonna stand out now. You see, like I think you said it right. Like men created a soft life for these women, and that soft life in turn is creating all this chaos and all that. But you see, the hard life was gonna end up happening is gonna create hard, solid men again. Yes. And it's those hard men, it's those men that really were masculine, really knew how to grind. They're going to correct this whole thing all over again. And you know why? Because the hard man, after working so hard, he's not going to want somebody to come and squander all his hard work. So you're going to have to come and present something to the table. And guess what? What you presented is not the box. Yep. Sorry, that's not the answer. If I come to you and I say, okay, you want to get married, you want to be covered, you want soft life, okay, no problem. What can you offer me? And if you bring up anything even remotely concerning your body, you got to bounce.
But think about it, right? Everything that we said was on the money because there's a cycle. Hard times create hard men. Hard men create soft times. Yep. Soft times create soft men. Soft men create hard times.
That's it. And
it's a cycle. The thing is, if you don't want to enter into the cycle, if you don't want to repeat that time, right? In soft times, you still have to be consistent. So that way it don't create soft men. So that way the cycle doesn't repeat itself. So now that you live in luxury, right? Now that the economy is better, you cannot have corruption. You have to continue in the laws, statutes, and commandments and be righteous still. Because if there's corruption, what it does, it just creates that whole cycle back again. You understand? Yeah. And the thing is, you cannot disrespect people based on their gender and based on their worth and talent and skill levels. We can't. If the janitor is just as important as the CEO, the bus driver is just as important as the teacher, because we live in an interconnected system where we need different variety of work in order to keep moving on as a society. And if women don't understand that, okay, we've created this infrastructure for you to live, for you to work. Stop disrespecting the men because they sacrifice their lives to create that bridge. Stop disrespecting the men because many of them lost their lives to create that building that you work in. Many of them sacrificed their whole lives in order to protect you so you don't have to go to war.
Yeah, we crawled so that you could run.
You know, the life expectancy of a man is shorter than women for a reason.
Yeah. I want to just touch on the one thing that this girl said towards the end.
I think I like women.
If it would play, let me see if I can find it for y'all.
I don't think I like women anymore.
Okay. Well, anyway, I kind of touched on it anyway, but the only point that I really wanted to touch on was the fact that she said towards the end about the Christian man is coming back. I think that's the thing, right? And not necessarily Christian men per se, but I do believe like when men fundamentally return to a sense of spirituality, I think such a man would not be led by his penis, period, point blank. And that's what's so beautiful about, not necessarily, I don't want to say religion, but like just a spiritual led man, right? Because they teach you values such as denying your flesh. That level of discipline is actually very important. And now this is where it goes on the men, right? Because we got on the women, but for the men, you're gonna have to really learn how to crucify your flesh. Because if you keep being led by your flesh and you keep gooning, like Unknown Grails said, right? You edging for 8 hours daily. You're gonna not only lower your testosterone, but in real talk, you're gonna lower your testosterone, but also too, women will continue to manipulate you and make you a simp. And if you keep walking in such a weak, defeated mindset, look, man, you're gonna continue creating these hard times that we're dealing with. Where, what is it, 50% of first marriages end in divorce? Yes, because these men are, both genders are out of order.
Out of order.
The men, being the leaders though, you need to do what the men in China are doing, right? Where you need to opt out of the system altogether. I'm not going to be a simp anymore. I'm not going to be led by my carnal flesh anymore. Again, you guys, the box, every woman got it. So it's not really that rare. It's not that much of a commodity as you think it is. You need to actually exercise some level of discipline and do the self-improvement, because when you do that, you're going to get the woman that you always wanted anyway, but not the other way around. Simping don't do that for you. Go ahead. I see you. Go ahead. You got something in your mind.
You brought up the Bible, which is a good factor, because think about it. God said, Eve, your desire will be to your husband. So he gave the order. It's reverse. Men are supposed to pursue the material stuff, right? Or actually work with the materials. And women, their desires for men. But it's reverse. The men are pursuing the women, and the women are pursuing the material stuff. So this is why men are working to attract women, and women are attracted to materials. So this is why this whole transactional exchange for beauty, for money, for beauty exists.
Josh, I like what you said. I like to call it a righteous man, because spiritually has been taken over by the weird soy boys today. Now, you're right. You're right. My thing was, I was thinking of the word religion, but religion is not the right word. But I like what you said, righteous. I like what you said. Yeah, all right. We need righteous men. She is calling it the Christian man is returning. I understand where she's at, right? I'm not going to be too nitpicky, but you're right. Righteous men need to come back to the forefront. And this is what, I'm going to land the plane by saying this, because I do got to go. But do you guys understand, if you guys were righteous, right, and you did the self-improvement, bro, there's only one dude we know of that's disloyal. Matter of fact, not one. I would say maybe two. We have Samson and we have Solomon, where they were just chasing Punani. And it's just like these dudes end up falling. Mm-hmm. That's not the sentiment of the book. When you read about these men, these were men that were patriarchs. These were men they were running shit. And they were not here chasing skirts, guys. Do you understand that? What happened to people like Ruth? Ruth was bowing down to Boaz. She's the one chasing the man. It's not supposed to be the other way around. This is the problem with a lot of these brothers. Y'all not doing the self-improvement. that need to really focus on yourselves, focus on grinding, focus on building yourselves up. And again, the woman is going to come. I promise you that. It's not gonna ever come when you chasing women, because again, you even give off a scent that repels women. Actually, when you're so damn thirsty, these women know, they know, and that's why they're like, nah, I'm not even effing with this dude. Or worse, I'm gonna string him along so that he could give me some free food, a free meal, and then I'll tell them, just like they tell that lesbian chick in the video, I just want friendship. I didn't really want to be in a relationship. But do you have any last words before we head out?
I think we covered most of it. Is this, men, find you a respectable woman, a woman that sensible woman that understands compromise, that understands teamwork, a woman that understands that she's not going to get everything in life. Nobody is going to get everything in life. It's impossible, literally impossible to have everything in life. Life was not designed this way. For every gain, there is an equivalent sacrifice that has to be made. So you cannot have it all. Impossible. For all you lesbians out there, you took one for the team, but now, you got to come back home. Now you know what it feels like, man. Now you know what it feels like, man. Just come back home. That's it. There's men in abundance. Matter of fact, there's so much men in China, you can find yourself an Asian man, live happily ever after.
All right, anyway, if you did like this video, if you found any value in it, please like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. It does help the channel out a lot. I'm gonna leave the link to I Live for Donuts. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. I Live for Donuts page in the
Nick,
description. What's up?
What kind of donuts do you think she lived for?
Hey, I don't know, man.
She looked like a powdered donut to me.
I don't know what she doesn't look like. She lived for the goddamn thing. Honestly, but I'm gonna leave her link whether we agree with her or not. But yeah, you guys, we appreciate those of you who was able to come out and contribute and engage with us today. We say thank you dearly. Anyway, with that being said, Nick, James, over and out. Jesus is king, y'all.
Peace.